So
panels.
Well, I guess we'll actually speak on that same publication thing here in a minute, but
yeah,
because there's some Hunter x Hunter news. But is your stream up or is it we started?
Oh yeah. My stream is up. I kind of just I like hit the update when I took out the Hunter x Hunter part of the title, and then I just kind of hit start streaming.
Not too bad because we got some Hunter x Hunter news to start.
Oh no!
As is per usual. Hunter x Hunter
Say
news.
it ain't so. And I'm your host, Hunter.
I'm the other host, Hunter. Here to find out what the X means.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's not like I like you or anything, Babaka.
So I guess we'll get right into it. The Hunter x Hunter. A little bit of news has dropped. I think it's leaks, or it was something revealed with the last chapter, or it's something in this chapter, as upcoming one. But there was a little note because this is the end of the kind of batch. There's a little note at the end, and it said that the Weekly Shonen Jump team, the editorial team that works with Togashi, has been in talks with Togashi, and they have since changed his basically the way he releases chapters to not be weekly anymore. So what this means is a couple of things. Firstly, he could remain in Weekly Shonen Jump and release like bi-weekly or monthly or bi-monthly or something, and it could mean we get more regular chapters instead of just like batches of 10 releasing week after week. Similarly, what this also means is they could be moving the Hunter x Hunter publication to a different Jump thing, like not Weekly Shonen Jump anymore, but instead like something like Jump Plus, which allows like a little more crazy or loose with the guidelines, and you get more free time. It's where Chainsaw Man is, and like some popular online mangas.
Okay.
So that's the possibilities are either maybe we have less hiatus now and more like maybe like a monthly publication in Weekly Shonen Jump, which would be fine. I would be for that. Or we would have something like him moving to Jump Plus, which would allow him more free time. That kind of thing. So, an interesting update. We'll see how that develops. And honestly, I'm for him moving to Jump Plus just because, like I mentioned, Jump Plus is a lot looser with the guidelines. Like, the stuff that happens in Chainsaw Man probably would not get away in Weekly Shonen Jump.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like...
that's something I never even thought about, how messed up Chainsaw Man, but it's in like a publication for kids. That never even occurred to me.
Yeah, so it's like what Weekly Shonen Jump is a little more kid-friendly. It's targeted towards, teenage boys. That's like... If Hunter x Hunter was in Jump Plus, you could probably get away with some more outlandish stuff, considering the most recent chapter. Or one of the more recent chapters. Who knows? He could probably do that. And also, the scheduling for Jump Plus is they like mandatorily have to give them like I think the standard for a Jump Plus manga is 3 weeks of manga and then 1 week break. So that's kind of the standard on Jump Plus as opposed to Weekly, which is Weekly Shonen Jump, which is just every week. So they have to give like one week a month break essentially on Jump Plus. So we don't know. I mean, it's more just like an update of the Jump editorial team. It's just like, hey, we're just updating you guys, letting you know that maybe we'll be seeing more Hunter x Hunter on the regular instead of just in like 10-week batches.
Yeah,
which I am very much for, even if it's like bi-monthly. It's like I'd still prefer that.
Yeah.
So We'll see.
Instead of just a long
waits
long.
and then 10 chapters. Which, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you get 10 weeks straight of good content, but it's like also having that regularly scheduled thing, I think, kind of is better from...
Yeah, like it vibes better.
From both a reader and a worker environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Togashi probably would benefit more from having a standardized schedule. But yeah, that's the big Hunter x Hunter announcement. So definitely a hiatus after 400. We were more or less expecting that. But we'll see if it comes back in like a monthly or bi-monthly or incoming quarterly Hunter x Hunter.
Quarterly Hunter x Hunter. One chapter every 4 months.
But no, like some of my favorite mangas are monthly. Like Vinland Saga is really, really good. It's a monthly manga. It's not like a lot of It's not like a lot of chapters or a lot of pages each month either. It's just like a normal amount of manga pages, but it's monthly and it's super well done. I highly recommend Vinland Saga.
Yeah, I know I've heard a ton of good stuff about Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga is so great. It's a bit bloody because it's like in the Vikings time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of anti-war and deals with that a lot. So it's like you might like some of it, but there's definitely
it's not like Chainsaw Man that is just like gratuitous gore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure if I got into Vinland Saga, I'd like it.
Yeah, and Vinland Saga it was the series that when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this series is actually written from a perspective of the characters driving their actions instead of the actions driving the characters, which is something very rare. When one character goes through a change, I'm like, oh, this series is driven by characters actually doing things because that's what they want to do instead of plot contrivance. And I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this rather nicely. And so that's pretty good.
Maybe sad how high of a bar that is, or how highly you think of something that clears that bar, but you know what?
Right, because it's like I read other mangas a lot, and it's like when you read something like Naruto, it's like Naruto's like good, but it's very plot contrived.
Yes.
Like, have you ever watched Naruto or like Naruto?
I watched right up until the filler hell at the end of like the original Naruto, and then I never watched any farther.
So like an example that I was just earlier today thinking of is the Rock Lee versus Gaara stuff, and it's like Rock Lee loses that fight, and I'm not mad at him losing the fight because if they lost the fight and then they have an emotional scene afterwards where he's like, I need to get stronger, blah blah blah. It's like they have this impactful, weighty scene where it's like Rock Lee shows he's probably one of the strongest people there, but he also needs to get stronger because he was beaten by somebody who was essentially privileged with a better power. And it's like, that's a really nice setup for this character, and then they just abandon Rock Lee entirely because there's no point for him to be in the plot anymore. It's like, it's insulting, like, but it's like,
yeah, they did Rock Lee dirty.
Yeah, and it's like that's what a lot of manga do. They don't do characters doing actions because it would make sense for the characters. They do the plot doing actions, and then the characters being like, "Oh, this character fits nicely into this," that kind of thing. It's another reason why I like series like One Punch Man and Mob Psycho. They're excellently done character pieces where the actions are all done because the characters want to do these things. It's like, and they're also well written about themes that not a lot of other stuff does.
Yeah.
Like Mob Psycho 100 seems fucking great, and I've never seen like any other series tackle it, which is you don't have to be a great, fantastic person. You don't have to live up to your birthright. You can just be what you want to be. It's like, oh, it's a very great message.
You can just be you, and that's more than good enough.
Yeah. One Punch Man is just about depression.
Man, oh wait, One Punch Man is on Jump, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe it might be on.
Is it?
I don't think it's published in Jump, but it might be like on Jump app.
Let me take a look real quick. Oh yeah, it's 174 chapters on there.
One Punch Man is very good. I like it a lot. But now we're getting lost in the plot.
Okay, I know what series I'm reading next after I'm done with the one I'm on now. Oh yeah, I'm reading the Yu-Gi-Oh manga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and originally I thought that I would just like read like the season 0 type stuff, like like the stuff that wasn't in like the English anime. And then I read it and I'm like, wow, this is actually like not that good. Yugi looks like a freaking gremlin. And then about like 12 chapters in, I'm like, oh wait, this is actually really like pretty good and interesting. And so now I'm just reading through like the Duelist Kingdom stuff.
No, I know that the Yu-Gi-Oh manga is like pretty good. It's a shame what's happened to the author earlier this year.
Yeah.
A couple of big like manga deaths this year.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for the scene. But I think it's also inspired some other people. Speaking of Hunter x Hunter, I think Togashi's been inspired because of the events that happened this year.
Oh yeah.
It seems like he's like, okay, I gotta like actually pick this up and we're gonna finish this damn series before I die. So.
He's like, ooh, I might. I should probably put down the Dragon Quest for a minute.
And he just had that exhibition in. I know it's like not talking about One Piece, but like
we'll get to
natural
it.
conversation. But he had this big exposition in Japan, which was really nice, and had a bunch of different like manga artists from a bunch of different series, like draw Yu Yu Hakusho or Hunter x Hunter art, basically, and like talk about how it inspired them and stuff like that. So it's like really cool if you look it up. Like there's some cool artwork from other artists and stuff in the scene that are like, oh, Togashi inspired me to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. So, like, I know, like, the Jujutsu Kaisen person was doing it. Like, they're a huge fan, which makes sense. If you've ever read Jujutsu Kaisen, it has Hunter x Hunter in its fucking DNA.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Can't wait till more of that anime comes out. So good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're an anime only, aren't you?
Yeah, for Juju, yeah.
Yeah, the manga is very good, but the anime is also pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid becoming that guy.
When you read all the mangas.
Yeah, like I really want to avoid becoming that guy.
I just embraced it a while ago. I was like, because I think it was around the time when Chainsaw Man was initially releasing, and people were talking about how Chainsaw Man was good. But like people were like, I'm just gonna wait for the end and stuff, and I was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna read it. It's like there were other series. Like there were other series at the time, like Kaiju number 8, which I think is getting an anime adaptation right now, and like Spy X Family, which has been getting an anime adaptation that people are liking a lot. So like that, I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna read it, and if these get anime adaptations, sure. If they don't, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I've been hearing about Spy Family like getting an anime adaptation, like people wanting it for like years and years.
I haven't watched I've heard it's good. I mean, I see a lot of people memeing.
The anime is very good.
I see a lot of people memeing Anya, so
yeah.
I assume it's reached a bit of a cultural presence. But yeah, I've only read the manga.
Yeah,
I can recommend heartily. It was very good.
Yeah, the anime is really good. We're watching the dub, which is actually like the dub is really good. Of course, I say that about.
Well, I mean,
80% of
dubs nowadays should be good. There shouldn't be an excuse for dubs to be bad.
That's a good point.
Like they should know better at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spy Family dub is really good. Like it's a hard show for me personally to watch because of my particular issues.
Mm-hmm.
I get hit by secondhand cringe hard. Like there will be sometimes where we're watching Spy Family and like Alexa has to move the controller away from me because if she doesn't, I will stop the show.
does quite a bit of that.
And like sometimes it's warranted, and sometimes it's not, and it's just
Spikes
definitely.
There are more gags that stick with me. Spikes.
It's also kind of got like that yeah, there have been one really nice thing, and I don't know if like this has always been a thing, but you know, I'm just kind of blind, is that it feels like there have been like a lot of like non-action series that'll come out and like did an anime adaptation, and they just go like balls to the walls of the animation for it, just like go all out.
Yeah.
Because like they did that for Nagatoro, they did that for Komi. There's another one I'm thinking of that I can't remember. Well, the Spy Family does have some action in it, so it's
the new one with like the pink girl or whatever.
Oh yeah, the one with the muscle girl or whatever, or the buff girlfriend or something.
I don't know. I've just seen meme images or gifs of like the fucking pink girl like glitching out and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's no time to read anime and watch manga.
Read anime and watch manga, yeah. It's a good time for that.
It's a good time, good time.
It's never a bad time to do that if you have the superpower that lets you read anime and watch manga.
Yeah. It's like you okay. Imagine this: someone who exclusively experiences manga through like people who make videos of like panel by panel.
And they like do all the voices. Like it's basically like
No, not even any voices. It's just like a video that just moves you like one panel at a time.
I was thinking it was like celebrity like book readings, where the celebrities like read the book and they try to do their voices. Except like a YouTube video and it's manga.
What should I use for this raid?
I'm still trying to get a good outbreak. Should we sit? But anyway, we've stalled on
Yeah. So back to the One Piece, the piece of one,
One Piece.
the one, the only, the piece.
So where we left off.
Yeah, so we left off talking. We were in the middle of Water 7, talking about that.
Water 7, right? We're moving over to Anna's lobby. Let's get started on the fights in Anna's lobby. I wish I had actually done some research.
Yeah, well, I've been at work the other day. I've actually been thinking a lot about One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't brush up on like the order of events or anything, but I've been thinking a lot about it, like what I like, what I don't like.
Yeah.
I've been like going critic mode.
So you've been going critic mode? Okay. So for today, I want to jump right into Wano. No.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah.
But yes, Anna's lobby.
The fights.
As we were kind of saying before, the fights in Anna's lobby, the reason why I like them kind of more than other arcs is because they take the character arcs and kind of push them in motion or set them forward from where they already are.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a big thing in Ennis Lobby that I enjoy a lot, even if like a lot of CP0 is kind of like losers, or CP7 actually.
Yeah, like even the ones that are more interesting, they don't really do much with them. But also, I don't think that's really the purpose of CP7 anyway.
Yeah.
Like, Kaku is kind of an outlier of being like interesting.
Well, and they some of them come back, so it's not entirely.
Yeah.
It's like the characters themselves aren't important. What's important is the way they drive our main characters forward in the things that they
Yeah.
do. Like one thing that
Yes.
we didn't get to mention was Chopper. This is the first um, sighting of Chopper's monster form, which is really interesting, and I enjoy it a lot because
Yeah, like it's really cool.
up to this point, we've seen Chopper's different forms and how he uses them to like do different things on the battlefield, like using his brain more, you know, or being able to jump higher,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And it's like we've seen how he uses that, and then this is just a form where he lets himself go on autopilot, basically hit everything and just go crazy. And he basically has to do it. He tries to use his other forms, but he realizes he can't beat his opponent how he is now, so he has to. But he doesn't. He attempts to use his rumble balls, which at this point are like kind of like power ups for him. And they
Yeah.
basically allow him to be a little stronger. Um, but he doesn't know what happens when he uses like that. He does like three. It's like I can't use three at once, or else like I think that's my limit or something. And then when he uses the third one, he kind of goes into monster berserk form.
Yeah.
So and he kind of completely destroys the hair guy in half a second. His monster form,
Yeah.
so kind of displaying because he was having troubles with him before. And he's like, I don't even know how to like hit him or dodge attacks and stuff. And then he transfers his monster form, just completely wipes the floor with him. So it's like it kind of displays how powerful of a transformation this is right out the gate.
Yeah.
And then we have what I think is probably one of my favorite kind of Straw Hat interactions is him busting through a wall and Frankie being like, "Who the hell is that?" Because Frankie doesn't know them at this point, and he also, I
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
think most of the characters wouldn't really recognize Chopper in this form.
Mm-hmm.
And so Frankie's like, "Who the hell is that?" And then Chopper just fucking starts throwing punches at him.
I know. You know, one of your characters does beast mode and can't control it is like a very tried and true, plot point, like formula at this point, but this is definitely a really good example of it.
It's also really well. So, in a lot of series where they have characters go like beast mode, they're going crazy,
Yeah.
unstoppable. It's either something like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like power up and you get a bunch of hair, and you become super powerful, or it's you go crazy out of control and you have to be stopped by outside forces, essentially.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, even when it's something like crazy out of control, have to be stopped by outside forces, it's often like drawn in a way like they're being controlled by something else or something. It's not drawn usually as sinister. The panels with Chopper in monster form are like they feel like they're out of like a Junji Ito manga, like the way they're
Yeah, like
drawn.
they're legitimately terrifying.
Like it's like the character seeing this would be terrified in universe, like looking at this. Like
Yeah.
it is not something that you're just like, oh, it's Chopper big. It's like, no, this looks like a terrifying monster. And I know because I had a friend who'd watched One Piece, and me and another friend were talking about reading the manga, and he was like, I never thought about it. Chopper panels in the manga, or like where he goes monster point, are probably really like scary looking. It's like, yeah, they are. Like they're so excellently done in the manga that it's like, and it only happens a few times, but it's like when it happens, it's like you can tell people around are scared of this beast thing. It's not
Yeah,
like
and for good reason.
yeah, it's for very good reasons. So yeah, and then Monster Chopper goes around and he climbs the building. He interrupts he interrupts Zoro
Like
in
multiple fights.
yeah multiple fights. He's basically just causing havoc, and people are like, "What the fuck is that?"
Why is that?
Yeah. No, like I literally just like looked up the pictures now. It's just like it essentially looks like a like almost creepy pasta like Slender Man that someone would do on the internet. Like the way it's just drawn, where it's like in shadow and like far back with broad shoulders and like glowing eyes. It's just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about what happens to Monster Point later, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll talk about it.
And one of the many Chopper gets disrespected moments in the most time skip.
Chopper gets disrespected? No, Chopper is disrespected.
But yeah, I think
Chopper.
I already talked about Sanji and how his kind of character arc is kicked off here as well. Which finally gets his payoff in Wano after fucking years. And one of the few things I like about Wano's third act, but you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what other character arcs are really like important here. We have what is Usopp doing during this time?
Usopp is
he's
still
tied
tied
to
up
Zoro,
to Zoro.
yeah. Because him and Zoro are doing goofy stuff, and the moment is it's kind of just like it's not as important for their arcs, but it also is another moment of like Zoro being emotionally intelligent, where it's like he's treating Usopp with respect, despite the fact that Usopp is like being a little crybaby.
Yeah.
He's still treating Usopp with respect while they're tied together and stuff, so it's
like Usopp, like the manga at this point is doing a fantastic job of balancing that act of Usopp as this figure who, like, when the going gets tough, he can get going, but also he is literally a coward.
Yeah. And this is a character arc that Usopp really builds upon, and really, in a lot of fights, it builds on it and he grows through it. Like in the next arc, Thriller Bark, and then in the next fight, Thriller Bark, yeah, and then it just reneges on it immediately. Not like I'm bitter on that or anything. I'm saying is if Usopp at the end of whatever happens with the Giants, which is the place that like Usopp's been waiting to go to, be the Great Warrior of the Sea. If Usopp at the end of this like reneges back to the coward again, I'm gonna be a little angry.
And you know what? That's fair.
Because he's done it like 3 times now.
Probably should be
3 times now where he's gone from like a real person to a coward. It makes me a little angry. Why can't he have character growth? But I digress. And serialized me like this character growth is obviously going to be slow. That's why Sanji's thing didn't pay off till now.
Yeah. It also that's also something that doesn't bother me quite as much because well, Usopp's a coward, and they always do that same exact gag of, oh no, I think I can't go on this island, Itis is acting up.
See, but I like that gag.
So it's like, even though they always do that same gag, and it does bother me that he doesn't get any good, that he doesn't really get any, like, really good, like, fights anymore. What am I trying to say? So, like, even though it bothers me that he doesn't get those many good fights anymore, I don't think his character really ever regresses that much for me in terms of, like, he is always still a coward, but he's never, like, I guess he's kind of stayed stagnant for me. Like, it never feels like he slips back into being a coward. In the same way, he's always like this self-preservationist, stay in the back, but like can't help himself from still like getting involved to a certain point. Like, I don't know. It never really felt like he slid back to me ever. He's like kind of always the same. Listen,
to be fair to Dressrosa, there was some shenanigans with memory stuff going on there. So
yeah, in my opinion, if he had good fights after Dressrosa, I don't think I would mind as much what happened with Sanchin or with Usopp and Dressrosa.
True. I think Dressrosa would have more. It's like the events are kind of funny. It's just some of the lead up to it, maybe.
Yeah.
But the events themselves, like him becoming like the champion of the people and all that stuff, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a little off topic here.
Yeah. So we're still in Water 7.
I'm actually writing this lobby streamer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. I can't remember what Ennis lobby is called.
So, other than that, that's really it. I mean, Nami has a girl power fight. It doesn't really do anything with her.
Yeah.
Women are treated with the same respect as men in One Piece, pretty much.
Yeah. Nami's already pretty much done at this point. Like, she'll get her emotional moments, but I don't think she really has much more to do in her arc. Which isn't necessarily a complaint, because Nami's like a pretty good character. She just doesn't have much more growth to do, I guess, at this point with what Oda wants to do with her.
It also doesn't help that like a lot of her gags don't really hit close with me. Like her just being like abusive to the rest of the group. It's like,
yeah,
not like woo.
It's one of those woo. It's 2001, baby. This is humor, all right.
Until it happens in the most recent chapter, where she's beating up Luffy in a cage. But I digress.
Ooh, baby, it's 2001 again.
It also doesn't help that Nami's often treated as a damsel in distress. And she's shown to be like, very powerful herself.
Yes, which is a shame because her like Nami's power ups like arc to arc are like some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Especially all the stuff with Zeus, I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Especially like it kind of makes sense that Zeus would take to them and would take to Nami, and like they would kind of have some sort of rapport because Zeus is part of Big Mama's soul, and Big Mama, when she isn't like literally Big Mama, actually does along really well with them.
Yeah.
I know you hate the amnesia stuff, but I really like everything with Big Mama and Wano.
I do. I don't hate the amnesia stuff. Going back to the Rock Lee versus Gaara as a tangent, I don't hate Rock Lee versus Gaara because Rock Lee lost. I hate it because Rock Lee lost, and then they didn't do any development for Rock Lee. So I don't hate her forgetting everything in Wano because of her forgetting everything in Wano, but developed because of it. I hate it because of the developments that happened afterwards.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But
yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so back to Water Slavy.
So Ennis Lobby, they beat CP7, most of CP7 except for Luffy. He is tied up with Labluki, also known as a loser. I don't like this character at all.
Yeah.
I like what
You
this
don't
fight.
like.
I like what this fight represents. I'm not a big fan of the fight itself because it's just two dudes punching each other until one falls down.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about something today, because it was like while I was scrolling through YouTube, there was like a thumbnail like for a video talking about Rob Lucci. I didn't watch it. I just like saw him in the thumbnail, and I was looking at it thinking, I'm like, you know what? Rob Lucci and Kaido are a lot alike in terms of how they're handled. And that's it. That's the thought. Definitely not thinking anything about about your thoughts on Wano. No siree.
But I think we're not over. I'm taking long enough. But
I'm just gonna EV turn on some rough split.
Luffy fights Rob Lucci. He's having a difficult fight while they're all trying to escape. The Buster call that has been called in on Enies Lobby because the overarching villain is a jackass.
Yeah.
Before I forget though, we did not touch on yet Frankie's backstory in large, since it has to deal with the main villain guy as well.
Oh yeah. So we kind of did 2 backstory dumps here, because we did the both the O'Hara incident and the whatchamacallit, the I guess Sea Train, Water 7, Uncle Tom, or Old Man Tom, whatever he was called.
Who is a great character. Love him.
I agree.
Everything about him.
I love
everything he stands for, everything he does.
Yeah, the entire dichotomy between, or not dichotomy, it was, I cannot speak tonight, apologies for sounding like an idiot, but like the entire relationship between Uncle Tom, Iceberg, and Frankie, like that whole
it's like a little thing. Iceberg's the older
yes.
brother, Frankie's the younger brother. Comes the day with this little family that's found each other essentially.
And like the ways they like contrast and play off of each other is so like profoundly interesting and tragic, and like I really do like them.
Yeah, everything about the story is it's hard to make a story hit emotionally after Robin's.
Yeah,
but everything about the story
but it does it.
is also emotional as well. And it's just like even to the end where Frankie everyone's like to Frankie, just like keep your head down and like don't mess with them anymore. And Frankie's like, fuck that, I'm gonna run in front of this guy train.
I can't.
I can't.
I literally can't.
It's all just very well done.
So okay, so I have something to say about both of the stories, like both of these backstories, kind of in concert. Do you have anything to say about like the individual ones, like anything like that, like you want to point out before I do that?
The only thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that you can do 2 backstories in an arc and have it work, and Water 7 and Enies Lobby is proof of this.
Yes.
The reason why I bring this up is because Wano. And that's all I'll mention for now.
Okay, yeah. So one thing I want to bring up that is part of why Water 7 is my favorite arc is that these 2 backstories are obviously, integral to the happenings of the arc. But they also directly play off of each other. In that these are both is that they both give like a different answer to the same question. and it doesn't really tell you which one of them is right, even though obviously the military is always in the wrong. So, uh, the whole everything about O'Hara is kind of about this idea that, you know, like these great weapons, which from the purpose of this backstory, like obviously there's more to it than just weapons in terms of researching the 100 years, but in terms of like the ideological reason for O'Hara's destruction as put forward in this arc. Because like obviously the actual reason for it is a lot more complicated than just stop the weapon. But like the ideological reason that's kind of put forward in this arc, like kind of like what you're thinking about when this arc happens, is that the reason that they destroyed O'Hara was because that information is so dangerous that it cannot be allowed to let live.
Mm-hmm.
And that is obviously wrong because information itself, a weapon itself, like that information needs to be known and understood so that way you can avoid it happening later. You need to have that information on hand in case you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, obviously destroying O'Hara was the wrong thing. Not looking up this information is the wrong thing. And then Frankie's backstory and the particulars of how, like, Tom ends up dying, or how he ends up, being a criminal in the end, is that all of Frankie's ships are just kind of left unattended. He's like been building all these big weapons without really thinking about them as weapons. He's just building cool stuff and then leaving it. And then those get commandeered and come back to bite him in a really big way.
Yeah.
And so the idea of Frankie's backstory, and this is like something that Iceberg like specifically says. It's like, one of those rare instances where like you get like a specific thesis, like just kind of laid out for you for like a chunk of the story. And it's when Iceberg says that you can't just make this stuff and leave it alone. Like, this stuff, you shouldn't even make it, is kind of like what Iceberg is saying. Like, the fact that you've just made this stuff and left it alone is like, these dangerous weapons should not be a thing.
And then we
get like, there's more.
Yeah,
there's more to it, but like,
Tom's like, it doesn't matter if you created it and it's been used for purposes you don't want it to. It's still your creation. Like, it's still something you made with your own two hands.
Yeah. So yeah. So like, there's so much depth like in that backstory itself between Tom and Iceberg and Frankie and the government. But I think that the way that the two backstories, kind of next to each other, like the fact that it is Frankie and Robin that are captured there next to each other, that kind of sets up like that kind of like the line of thinking that you have to go through as you're reading this and deciding for yourself how like how things shook out and like how could they have been different? How does like apply to like outside of just One Piece? I think that the comparisons between those two backstories, and especially putting them right next to each other in the same arc, with that central conceit of should we pull up these super big dangerous weapons, is just incredibly engaging.
And I want to add on to that as well. The theme of Robin's is the government not wanting essentially the people to figure out this history of the world and preventing them from doing it. The backstory to Tom and Frankie and Iceberg and what actually picked up the plot in the modern day is the government trying to get information that they don't have.
Yeah.
To use for their own purposes. So, have a little bit of that happening as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Man, this arc is so good.
It's almost like it's the best one of the series. Almost like every time you look at it, there's something new pops up.
Yeah, when I put it as like my number one, like when we were ranking it the other night, I put it there as like a gut feeling, and I didn't really get out. And I'm just like, yeah, good job, gut. Good job, gut.
everything about this arc, specifically, how the themes and all the characters tie in perfectly together. You have arcs where the characters are done really well. You have arcs where the themes are done really well, but sometimes the characters aren't so good. It's like having it all tie together very well.
Yeah, and it also introduces the best joke in the series that they will use over and over again.
Which one's that?
Anytime it's what's the devil fruit type where you like turn into something else, like turn into like an animal of some kind? Is that Zoan or Logia? I can never get the two. Zone.
Logia,
Okay, yeah.
Logia is like Ace.
Okay. Yeah. So Logia is turning into. Okay. Yeah. So they do the joke where for basically every zone fruit user, they'll do something completely like off the rocker, and they're like, "This is what a giraffe can do."
Oh yeah, that's.
And then they just respond, "Oh, is that what giraffes do? I didn't know." They use that joke like 20 times in Wano.
This is how Patera unstunted in ancient times. Is very good.
Oh, checks out, I guess.
He just fucking shoots his fucking elongated beak at him. So great. But yeah. Where are we at in the overall conversation?
So any other thoughts about Ennis Lobby / Water 7?
We haven't got the
big
moment yet. The big moment. The big tearjerker moment. Because then what happens is they're trying to escape the Buster Call. They can't find a way out. And we thought it sunk, but up shows Mary, the ship.
Going.
And the crew all gets on. They're like, Mary's here. Mary saved us. Woohoo. They leave. And then they finally get out. And they're like, thanks, Mary. Thanks. And Mary starts talking to them.
I literally could not stop crying from the moment Mary showed back up.
It's a very emotional moment where Mary basically, because in this series, like, ships have souls essentially that are nurtured by the crew of the ship. And if you treat the ship with love and care, even if you're not a good carpenter, that kind of thing, then the ship will in kind respond. Essentially want to treat you well, so that's why Mary essentially hoisted itself from the ocean and came to save them for one last saving grace to essentially save them.
And it's so freaking sad.
It's an emotional moment where it says, thank you for taking me on your journey. I'm ready to rest now. And they put the ship to rest. It's very sad. And I like what you pointed out is that it's very sad because we know this character can die. This character, quote unquote, can actually die, unlike a lot of the other One Piece characters. So it was a very sad moment because they're legitimately dead.
Yeah. Man, it's so sad.
Yeah, it's the moment that everyone cries. So it's about the ship that not being used anymore.
Yeah.
But luckily, Frankie, Iceberg, and the other shipwrights work tirelessly for a new ship. Thousand Sun. Which is a very good ship. It is a very good ship.
Yeah. Love the design of it.
It's been great. I like how the deck is just like grass.
Yeah, that's so funny.
It's not even like a wooden deck, it's just a dead ass like a grass place.
Do they water it? Is there like a sprinkler system for the grass?
I mean, probably. And they have the whole
Frankie could do.
They have the whole orange orchards as well. So for Nami, so it's like.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yes. Because Frankie asks all the crew members, like, one thing you want on the ship. It's that ship for them.
Frankie's such a good guy.
Nami wants an orange orchard. Sanji wants a fridge with a lock.
Good answer, good answer.
The funny thing about the fridge with the lock, I don't know if this has been told in like the main series or if it's just like an SBS or something, but it can only be opened by 4 people, and it's it's coded to only be opened by 4 people. It's Frankie because he made it, Sanji because he's the cook, and then Nami and Robin.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that.
Yeah, those are the only 4 people that can open it on the ship. So that's good. So yeah, and then like some of the other characters, there's a bookshelf. Someone requests a bookshelf. Might be Robin. There's some other things that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
But that's more or less the gist of it. And then because this arc just can't stop hitting us with the emotional scenes, Frankie's crew decides that he needs to leave because he now has a big bounty with the Straw Hats. So like, please take him with you, and there's a big emotional chase through town where they basically try to convince him, and eventually do convince Frankie to join their crew. There's a really nice moment where Frankie's running into downtown, fucking butt naked. So.
I love the real emotional moments. You know, absolutely no funny business going on.
The funny business
raw emotions.
As Robin grabs his nuts.
Oh, Robin. I love Robin so much. She's so good.
You can't. After reading Water 7 and Slug, you can't like not love Robin. Yeah. Like, kind of impossible. But yeah, that's Water 7 and its lobby. It's the best 2 core arcs in the series. End sentence. There will be no compromise. The only time I see people compare it with like as good as another arc is the Sabaody through Marineford stuff.
I can see that. I would disagree, but I can see that.
Yeah. Which is good because Sabaody and Marineford stuff's coming up soon. But in the meantime, we have a little arc in the middle called Thriller Bark.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before that though, I didn't talk to. We did get to meet Garp.
Oh, we do get to meet Luffy's grandfather. We get
yes.
more Luffy story. We know a bit more about Luffy, and that he's the son of a Navy vice admiral who will later come to learn he's a vice admiral by choice. He is on the level of the actual admirals, but he decides not to be up there because he hates the
Celestial Dragons.
He was the dragons, which good on him. And Luffy's also the son of Dragon, who is the leader of the rebellion forces around the world. The revolutionaries. So.
Yeah, so literally, like, Luffy just has his hands in, like, every single pie.
Yeah. And it's good that what's enjoyable about it being Luffy is that Luffy could not care fucking less. As a character. He does not give a flying fuck about what position his grandfather is in, or what position his father is in, or any of that shit.
Yeah. Like, if Luffy met, like, Dragon, like, tomorrow, he would just be like, oh, hey, cool. Nice to meet you. I'm out. No, he'd be like, can I fight you? You want to go?
I mean, he wants to fight Shanks as well, so yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, that's like, and Luffy, I don't even think it's later. I don't even know if it's later revealed or if it's here revealed that he doesn't even like. He's like, I don't really care about my father. Like, who gives a shit? He's like, the Dan was my family basically, my parental figure. started the dancing.
Yeah, he does
started
say
doing.
that.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I don't think he says who, but he does like give off the general impression that he does not care.
Yeah, and it's later revealed that
I don't think he does it in like necessarily a negative way, but like
no, it's just like I don't know him. I never knew him, so why would I care? It's fine because we eventually meet the person who was his parental figure, and we love her. We stand at it.
yes. We stand to Dan.
I don't know, when is that actually?
That is post.
Is it close?
I think that's in the. I think that's
I
in the.
think it's
I think that's like right before, right after the time skip. I think.
I think it's during Impulse Down. He's getting healed. I think we have the
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's after that.
I think we have the backstory though before Ace goes kaput. Because
No, I'm pretty sure we did it after.
really?
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure we did it after.
What I'm thinking of is not the full backstory. I'm thinking of like the when
Oh.
him and Ace just like share the brother cups, and essentially become brothers. Which is before the full backstory, because the full backstory also reveals their third brother who wasn't in the picture beforehand. He didn't
Oh
exist.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was in two. It was in two chunks.
Yeah, because the first thing was just like him and Ace. He was following Ace through the forest essentially, and like until Ace broke down and essentially agreed to be his friend, and then eventually became brothers.
Oh, Luffy, I love you.
But yeah, and then eventually we learned about Sabo as well. Sabo has a really nice backstory, which I don't think was tainted by his return, but I think it's a little bit of Oda wanting to have his cake and eat it too. He's like, well, this character I had to kill, so I'm just going to bring him back in a different
Yeah.
character. uh,
Yeah,
let's
it's I agree with you in that like I don't mind, but like in context,
It's just the fact that he's also Luffy's older brother. This whole time he was around in all of his he just didn't remember, and also he now has the same as Ace. It's like, okay, we get it. You just wanted to have Ace alive. We get it.
we did it, we did it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Garp overall as a character?
I like
Especially considering we've had like some kind of like more recent developments, which aren't that big a surprise, but
what are the recent developments?
the fact that him and
Oh, him
Roger.
and yeah, I thought you were talking about him and Mega. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Dragon. I thought those were mine. what about Garb and Roger?
Oh well, just the fact that like the two of them alone took on.
Right, we've been drip fed information about
Yes.
the incident, the God Valley incident. Still have not seen the resolution.
Yes.
I assume we are going to eventually,
Which.
and that better be the reason why we didn't get a lot of Kaido backstories. All I'm saying, if it isn't, that would be nothing.
Yeah.
That better be the reason. Because it better develop that a little bit more when we go into that backstory.
Yeah. I do really like the fact that out of all of Luffy's parental figures, and you know maybe this is just like a me thing, but like out of all of Luffy's like parental adjacent figures, the one that you see the most of Luffy in my opinion, is Garp.
Yes.
The idea of just like has his finger in every single pie. You can't really tell if it's because he wants to or not. And is just this overwhelmingly positive force no matter where he goes.
Yeah. It's like overbearing to an extent. It's like
Yes.
he even looks like Luffy if he was aged up almost. Like, very
Yeah.
interesting.
Like the fact that out of all of like his parental figures, Darp is the one that you see the most Luffy in, or I guess you see the most of in Luffy. I really like that.
Like a dragon who does not look anything like his son.
No. Also, doesn't really seem to act anything like his son either, based on the little bit we've seen.
This is his surrogate son in Sabo anyway, so.
His surrogate son, who is also his son's brother.
He totally died, by the way. I'm not even talk about
Totally
that.
died. Again.
Why are you fucking baiting us with a second ace death, bro?
Second Ace death, second Sabari death. That's like 3 deaths in one.
Yeah, like 4 deaths in this bad boy. So Thriller Bark.
Yeah, Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark. Introduced Brooke, who I absolutely love, even though I was predisposed to love him because in the English dub he's voiced by my favorite voice actor.
There are some gags with Brooke that I am not an enjoyer of.
Yes, he definitely has some of the same like Sanji problem.
Yeah, but it's like as a character himself, I think he overcomes that a little bit. With the has some problems.
Yeah. Yeah. His dads are also less egregious to me in that respect.
Yeah, because he's also like actually asking. And just like he's still being polite about it, even if it is fucking.
Yeah, even if it is like creepy. At least he's asking.
Also, fun fact: if we ignore the fact that Robin totally was dark skinned and they whitewashed her later, Brooke is the first character on the Straw Hats that's a person of color.
Wait, was Robin
I'm not
originally
bitter
dark
about
skin?
that or anything.
Wait, was she really?
We'll look up Robin from Skypea, like the anime versus Robin from modern days. I don't know, the anime might actually not. But yeah, she definitely got lighter skin. And her face changed as well, which is something that I would mention. Robin's face changed for those things too. It's weird to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely see it in the anime.
Yeah, like look at look up Robin Skypea and then Robin Long, and you'll see they're two different characters. They do not look similar. I mean, they look similar, but like definitely a design change in Robin post time skip that I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just completely restructured her face and gave her lighter skin.
Yeah, can't imagine why.
I mean, legitimately, like, look, if you look at her, like, in Skypea, she has a long nose, she has, like, the rigid eyes, and she's, like, a little darker skin. In Mono, she's, like, pale, has the rounded eyes, has a short nose. It's like, what did they do to you? What did they do to you? Like, what happened? I'm sending this old rock. Better. Which is something we'll get on when we get to post that skip as well, because that kind of runs in the through line through most of this run.
Yeah.
But Robin's just weird, just they change your fucking face.
Yeah.
Thriller Bark.
Yeah, Thriller Bark. Yeah, so I love Brooke.
Really good arc for Chopper. Like what Chopper goes through.
Yes.
Where he's like finally thinks he meets a contemporary, somebody else in his field, but then it turns out it's an absolute scumbag.
Yeah.
And Chopper has to kind of go through these emotions of somebody that he looks up to and has admired for a while. He's a complete utter piece of shit.
Yeah, which is just poor Chopper.
It's nice. Chopper suffering is nice.
Yeah, I love it when Chopper suffers and grows. Shame that never happens again.
Shame that events of two times get within a race and now mascot character. But anyway, we're getting distracted again from talking about this arc.
Get distracted. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
But the trailer bar is a fun little arc. We get to see another warlord build up.
Yeah.
Fun fact to mention that we still don't know much about the warlords at this point.
Yeah.
So seeing another one is kind of fun.
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, because at this point we've had a crocodile, and we've had a little bit of build up for. Come on, baby, calm down. We've had a little bit of build up for Doflamingo at this point. And I think that was about it.
They're the only two that show up for the warlord meeting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And with Mihawk as well.
Oh yeah, and Mihawk.
And so that we still don't know three of them coming to the Dark Meeting. It's Moira. The other two, we actually have been teased about another one known as Jinbei. Fun fact, because Jinbei, we know about Jinbei because in the Arlong arc was mentioned that he was the one who unleashed Arlong into the East Blue.
Oh wait, that was mentioned in that arc?
Yes. It was mentioned by Yasuke or whatever, he's one of the two bounty hunters that is friends with Zoro. Those two goofballs. He's like Arlong's a monster from he's a monster fishman, and he was unleashed on the East Blue by an even stronger fishman named Jinbei, one of the warlords of the sea. It's just kind of like a line.
Oh.
And it shows Jinbei's silhouette. A little fun fact. At this point in the story, Oda had planned on Jinbei to be a villain. Okay. But
I'm glad he's not, because he is my favorite Straw Hat.
Yeah. I'm not going with that, and the complete 180 making him one of the main characters instead.
And they say Oda knows everything up front.
But yeah, Sterling Bark,
I don't know who says it.
We only don't know two warlords by name, at least. One of them being Moira, and the other one being one that we're going to be introducing soon.
Yeah.
And so, and he has a very interesting power.
Yes.
He is the soul of Walnut.
So he has what is it called? The shadow fruit?
Yeah, shadows.
That lets them
people's shadows and lets him put their shadows on monsters. Basically, their monster takes on their personality and stuff like that, and they can't ever go out in the sunlight, or else they fade to dust and die. So I'll explain because it never happens again, but basically don't go in the sunlight.
Yeah. I really love that power and the different applications of it that we get throughout the arc.
That can be used against because powers in the series. Here's a big thing that I like about pre-hockey series. The series pre-hockey is that powers had big, powerful things about them, but also oftentimes had big drawbacks.
Yes.
What's interesting about the power system in the was interesting to see a author write how to beat, the person who uses the power, using the drawbacks, or outsmarting them, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey.
I'm not.
Well, we'll get there. But that's the big drawback to Moira's power is you can't exactly tell it. It's just like it's basically some dominion that follows whatever order she gives. And then it goes off.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell if like they're being destroyed or fought or like used against him, which we see as a bunch of people stuff a bunch of shadows into his body and he becomes superpowered.
Yeah.
But a lot of interesting stuff this arc. You see Zoro's totally not Zoro's ancestor.
Yeah. Totally no relation.
Totally not Zoro's ancestor's body being controlled by Brook Shadow. Nope. Totally not a samurai from Wano that would not be built upon at all.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, just some interesting gags that I wish we saw more of in this arc. Frankie building the bridge in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. I love that.
Again. We never see again. We just see it for once. Like, man, I wish we had more of Frankie just building it like in an impossible time frame. We had a bit of in Wano where it's like we were building the wishes, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, well, Frankie's on it. He'll be done in a couple minutes. You're just like, oh yeah, logistically we have Frankie doing this.
Good job, Frankie.
Thriller Barker was just like, they were like, how do we get across this massive gap? And then Frankie's like, oh, I built a bridge. It's like, hold on, don't go crappy yet. I have to check if it's stable. It's funny. The other kind of fight I want to mention in this arc is the 2 fights I want to mention. One is the kind of final fight of the arc. The one before that is Usopp versus the Depression Lady.
Oh yeah. What was her name? Was it Pei? Did it start with the P? It was something.
She comes back later, and I don't really care for her.
I think she's cute. She doesn't do much, obviously, but I think she's cute.
Well, you say she doesn't do much, but if Usopp didn't beat her, she was not have to try for the strongest fingers.
That's true. Which again, this is something that I really like the way Usopp beats her.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think it's funny. I think it's engaging. Really wish that wasn't how he beat all of his opponents.
Well, he grows by the end of the fight. Like, he goes through a little arc in the fight where he's like, I can't be afraid anymore because she can't do anything to me, And like, he has to man up. And at the end of it, he's like, he seems like a person with a stronger will, Like, he seems like he's figured something out during the fight, and then the fight's over and he's back to like funny coward. It's like, come on, man, why do we have to renege on your character growth? Why can't you just have a little bit, just a teensy bit of character growth?
Just give me something.
I see what you do for others. Looks over at Sanji, and I want that done for me. But the other fight is the whole Straw Hats versus Orbs, the whole team up.
Yes, which is really fun.
Really nice team up fight that we never see any team ups like this again.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more of this, but
got that Dragon Ball Z effect. But literally the best fights in Dragon Ball Z are the team fights. Yeah. And we just don't get any of them.
All the crew just working together to beat Moira and Forrest Jr. I know this is just Forrest Jr. Lord.
Yeah. For a little bit, anyway.
Yeah. And it's a really nice, well done fight. I like the team. But the big thing about this arc that I want to talk about yet again. Between the arcs is where it makes the most interesting stuff. After the arc is over, everyone's collapsed, and up shows another warlord. Kuma.
Oh, I know.
Kuma, the Paw Fruit warlord, shows up, and he says, "The government told me to kill you, Straw Hats." And everyone's passed out except for Zoro. So I think Zoro basically says, "Take me instead. I'll be the sacrifice." Sanji tries to get up as well. He's like, "I'll do it." And this is one of those moments where it's like, clearly they care for each other in their own messed up way.
Yeah.
Where they're like, "I want to be the one to die, not you," blah, blah, blah. Even though they're saying that it's because he's stupid, I should be the one to do it. Well, clearly they do care for each other in their own way.
Yeah, look how gay they are. They would definitely kiss.
But it's like, they fight over it, and then Zoro knocks out Sanji. Let me take the hit, and Kuma goes, "Okay, I'll agree to this, but you have to take all the damage from Luffy." He extracts it from Luffy using his power. And he says, "You have to take all the damage that Luffy endured, internally from all the shadows and externally from the fighting and all that stuff. You have to take all that pain, and then I'll leave if you." So he says, "All right." He does it, and it leads to a wonderful moment where nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's a very nice moment where it's like, Zoro's just like knocked out afterwards, and like Sanji, Zoro's not knocked out yet, and Sanji comes over and goes, "What happened? What happened?" Zoro's just completely like devastated and bleeding all over, and he's like, "Nothing happened." And then later, it's like Zoro's just knocked out, and he's like, "I feel fine. That fighting wasn't anything." Like, blah blah blah. And the only person who knows the truth is Sanji and two randos from the other crew that was there, and they go to tell him, and Sanji like pulls him aside and says, "Don't say anything, or I'll beat you guys."
Which is such a good moment.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Thriller Bark is really good too. I know we aren't going to spend as much time on it, but it is really good.
I mean, if you have stuff that I've been kind of just like going through it, like,
yeah, I don't think I have anything that really stands out to me in Thriller Bark like it did in Water 7.
I have something that stands out negatively, which is the Sanji with Absol moment, but I already talked about it.
The Sanji with Absol moment would be really funny if
It would be
Wano
good.
didn't happen.
Well, it would be good if he was chivalrous.
Yeah.
Like if he was chivalrous and not perverted. Like if he was more chivalrous than perverted. If he was like, I wanted that fruit as a child, not to use it to peep on girls and stuff, and he just wanted it. And then he's like, I hate how you're using it for those purposes. Like,
no, it would be really funny if he thought that's the fruit I always wanted, so I could peep on women. Because like that's like what he thought of like as a perverted child.
Yeah, as a perverted child.
But then like,
and it'd be fine.
But then as an adult, and he gets the power, and then he's like,
yeah,
nope.
Okay.
Instead, it's just.
Hold on one second. I gotta be right back. But yeah, sentiments agreed. Give it back 1 second.
No problem. Let's see. What's the ground type berry again? Was it Greppa? No. How can I not remember the berry I need? Yeah, this team I'm building, by the way, I don't think is going to be particularly good. Kind of trying out a couple of different things. I don't know if they'll super mesh well together. And the Bramble Gas plus whatchamacallit, Noivern with Terra Normal. But I'm in the mood to try it out, so I'm working. Now I just need a ground resist berry. Actually, the fire resist berry might be better overall, but yeah, that's cool. Polka. Rendo. I need me some berries. Berries, berries, and berries, berries. Also, the more I think about it, the more I think I should probably swap out Strain Sap for Disable, but I don't know. Kind of think I should try Strain Sap first. I think that works better with Annihilate. I don't know, maybe I'm dumb. Oh no. My wife is listening to DJ Cumberbund in the background. Do you think Paul has listened to DJ Cumberbund before in his life? Question of the day, leave it down in the comments below. Do you think Paul has listened to DJ Cumberbund? Do I have anything to say about Thriller Bark? I think the Dose Drill is cute. We get setups for all the way in Big Mom's arc here. That's pretty cool. Did I have any luck? I don't think I found it. Why can't I remember what the Earth Resist variants? Berry is good too. Also, want to know what I found out the other day? So it turns out Heavy Slam is a move that just straight up isn't affected by terrestrialization. So remember on stream that one game I had where I was trying to KO Annihilate with a Terrasteel Cetacean, and it didn't work? Yeah, that's why. Fun fact. Fun, incredibly upsetting fact. Actually, you know what? Instead of yeah, I'm gonna do wide. Do I not have a wide lens yet? I think I can just go buy those at Misadoza, right? Misadoza. When will Paggigalo return from the war? Let's see. I'm looking for wide lens, wide lens, wide lens. Oh, it's not at this one. Hmm. Are you waiting for the Paggigalo to get back? Oh, I love you. Is it Cascarapa? Everything. When will Paduti return from the war?
Yep.
Where were the lenses at? I know I saw them in one of these stores.
All right, sorry. Hello.
Oh, had to have been in Levitia.
I am back. Gamer.
Wide lens, wide lens.
Was I unmuted that whole time and I muted when I came back?
You were unmuted the whole time, yeah.
Oh.
I heard who I assumed to be your sister trying to talk to my wife.
No, nobody was trying to talk to you. There was
Yeah, I know. They were trying to talk to my wife.
My sister was making cookies from when I was younger. One of the older ladies at the church would make cookies from. They were a specific
Aw.
recipe that I didn't know, so my sister made them, and they looked different. And she was like, "I don't know if I did them right." And she's like, "I don't know if they're any good." And as I'm like scarfing down like fucking 5 or 6 cookies, and she's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they're pretty good."
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them. I mean, all the evidence points to. That's sweet, though.
Any other thoughts on Thriller Bark? Right back in the way.
The setup for some Big Mom stuff later is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention. Just Big Mom stuff mentioned. It was because the other crew that was there was one of Big Mom's children, and she goes,
Yes.
"If you're ever in trouble, my mom will help you out." She gives him a Beaver card for Big Mom.
Well, that was a lie.
Turns out,
But yeah, I really like that setup.
what Lola doesn't realize, and what a lot of other of Big Mom's children don't realize, is that Big Mom could not give a shit about her children. She does not care as long as her children are of a different race than each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of, I'm assuming Lola thinks that her mom actually cares, and this, because that's a big thing in the arc when we eventually get there, is that all of her children think that their mother cares. When in reality it's not so cut and dry, including her literally killing some of her children.
Yeah.
Oops.
Whoops.
But yeah, that's their arc. So now we get into the big kind of core of arcs. That we're gonna have a bit to talk about in each of them.
Yeah.
Core arcs.
Sawbody into Impel Down.
And Amazon Lily into Impel Down.
Oh, sorry. Sawbody into Amazon Lily, into Impel Down, into Marineford. Yeah.
So, Sabati.
So,
Any thoughts last time I said?
Yeah. So yeah, we did some stuff. We did our introduction to hockey in this arc. Starts out subtle. Yeah, which it's kind of subtly built up throughout this arc in particular.
Not only do we get our introduction to hockey this arc, we also get our reintroduction to Hachi this arc. Bumps. No.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So the
another splash page canon moment.
Yes. So we from the Arlong arc, there was a 6 swordsman octopus fishman named Hachi, who seemed kind of stupid. That's because he just doesn't pay attention to stuff very well. As it gets explained.
No. He is stupid. No.
But he's not.
He's also a good boy.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy. And we get reintroduced to him in this arc along with his mermaid friend who works at his shop, his food stand, and his starfish friend who's a luxury fashion designer in the fishman world. Which I love.
So funny.
So we get introduced to them in kind of a thing of circumstances where the Duval pirates have them trapped because they want to make money off of them, and the Straw Hats end up running into the Duval Pirates because the leader of the Duval Pirates looks like Sanji's wanted poster, and is mad at Sanji for sending people his way to bounty hunting.
Which is so funny because he was a bandit anyway, right? Before that even started.
But he wasn't a notorious one like Sanji is now. So.
Yeah.
And Sanji fixes this by rearranging his face. So. Quite literally, he punches him in the face, and then his face gets rearranged into looking like a pretty boy. Duval ends up actually being a pretty nice character.
Yeah. Once his face gets fixed.
Yeah, he's a pretty nice guy. He's thankful to Sanji for making him look beautiful. And we move on to the Sabati Archipelago, where Hachi takes them because that's where they want to go to get coded, so they can go to Fishman Island, so they can get to the second half of the Grand Line and start the second half of their adventure. So they need a coding artist who coats the ships, and they get off at Sabati, and they split up because they're having fun times at Sabati because they're just chilling out, waiting a few days, so they split up.
Yeah.
Luffy's
so a
team,
lot of the stuff gets brought up in this arc.
Yeah, Luffy's team ends up meeting Raleigh, who is the second in command for the last Pirate King. A swordsman like Dora.
Yes.
And he is the one who does the coatings on ships. So he's the one who they need to do the coding. And an interesting moment that I like is when Usopp is interested about the One Piece, and he asks Raleigh about the One Piece. And then Luffy says, "Shut up, Usopp." Says, "I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know anything about it."
Yeah, that's a great moment.
I want to find it out for myself, basically. Speaking of Usopp, he didn't mention one of the moments that we missed from Water 7. Is Usopp coming back to the crew.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I love the fact that they didn't ask him to come back. He had to come back himself.
Yeah,
or he had to ask them.
They didn't go to ask Usopp to come back because then that would have been like them accepting him being a crybaby tantrum who can leave whenever he wants, essentially. Is how Zoro puts it, and Zoro's more or less right.
Yeah.
Zoro's like, if you want to be a captain, you have to like stick by this and, let him make the decision for himself, essentially. So don't have him back on the ship until he apologizes. And so the beautiful moment when they're running away from Garp at the end of the arc, because Garp has to kind of take them in. Aokiji shows up and says, "Nope, orders from on high." He says, "You have to take them in." So Garp's like, "Okay, I'm hunting you now. I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to wreck you." They're running away. They're about to leave, and Usopp shows up. And he's like, "Oh, I know you guys wanted me to come back, yada, yada, yada." And then he sees them leaving, and he realizes that he's going to be left behind. And he finally admits he's in the wrong by saying, "I'm sorry." So,
yeah.
And they let him back on the ship.
Good moment for Usopp.
Yeah. Yet again, another character growth moment for Usopp that not bitter about it or anything.
Bitter? Me? Nah.
But yeah, anyway, back to the story. So there's a body. That rally. And then they want to go to the amusement park because, of course, they do because it's fun. They're all children, so it's hard to forget that all of our main characters are either young, early 20s or late teens. So
yeah,
they want to go to the amusement park, and at first our fishmen members are a little hesitant. Hachi specifically, the mermaid, I forget her name, which is sad because she's kind of the linchpin of this whole thing. But
yeah,
she wants to go to the amusement park because she's never gone before. But Hachi's like a little hesitant. It's like, well, you really shouldn't go. And they kind of pull him aside and ask why, and he's like, they really don't like fishmen here. They're racist against fishmen, essentially. And so if we get found out to be fishmen, we might get in trouble. Similarly, he also says this is right next to Holy Marijoa, which is the land of the celestial dragons, where all the celestial dragons live. And he says to Luffy, basically, listen, I know you'll like do anything crazy, So do not, under any circumstances, mess with the celestial dragon. If you see them hurting someone, ruining someone's life, it doesn't matter. Just leave them alone and let them do whatever they want, because you will bring down the wrath of the whole Navy upon you if you do. So they go to the amusement park.
Foreshadowing.
There's nothing about that conversation to wait word up.
Yeah.
They go to the amusement park.
Is this the first time that we did Is this the first time that we did the Celestial Dragons? I forget if they were like teased or like any.
I don't remember them
brought
being
up
teased
ever before this.
I don't remember them being teased before this. They might have been, but cause I think we got some of the 5 elders before this. Like we got like the panel of the 5 elders. But I don't think we got anything about the Celestial Dragons.
Yeah.
So yes, the Celestial Dragons are introduced to the story, and as they're going to the amusement park, they see one, stealing a man's wife from him, and then killing the man. And they can't do anything but stand there and watch, because he promised Tachi, and also messing with the Celestial Dragons is messing with the whole Navy, so you just kind of let them do whatever.
Yeah.
So they pass that by. And they go to the amusement park. They have a fun time. It's wonderful. I don't remember if it's during the amusement park or like after, where it's found out that Cammy is the name of the mermaid.
Okay, yeah. I think it's during that she disappears.
She gets found out to be a mermaid, and how Hachi mentioned earlier that fishmen aren't really welcome here. Well, it's not because people hate them necessarily. It's because if they get caught here, they're going to be sold.
Although they do.
They do. But if they get caught here, they're going to be sold into slavery.
And it is completely legal to do so.
Slavery in my shonen manga.
Say it ain't so.
Slavery and racism. So it's legal to do so, but it is like a sketchy auction house. But like you go there and there's a bunch of rich people inside, and like the celestial dragons are there as well. It's like it's like a sketchy slave auction house, but it's also like the rich people don't care, so nobody else does. So she gets kidnapped and brought to the slave house. Actually, this is where we meet Raleigh, because before this we just met Shaki.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, the painter will be here soon. He's out right now or something. We need to meet Raleigh till he's actually at the slave auction. He sold himself into slavery to get money." So
I forgot about that plot point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. It's like, what are you gonna
he
do to
met,
me?
he met the giant there who ends up joining Law's crew, who we don't get any development on because Law's crew is important. And the giant was like, "What? You sold yourself into slavery?" He's like, "Oh, I can just drink it whatever I want. I don't really care." He's like, "I just wanted the money." But yeah, so she gets taken to the slave auction house. The crew races to the auction house because they're gonna buy her back because they don't want to step on people's toes. They don't want to break the laws of this place or whatever. They're also pirates, so it's like the moral. The thing about pirates in real life is they're not really the moral center of the universe. And even though our lovable crew of misfits is good people, it's like at the end of the day, you're not going to mess with the status quo of slavery.
Are still pirates.
Yeah, pirates. It's like, oh, slavery's fine. It's not, but in the terms of this story at the moment, yes, it is, because what you can do about it.
It's like we don't have the time to unpack slavery right now. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it in after the time skip. So we have her being sold into slavery, and it turns out mermaids are like the most valuable thing. Like, people really pay a lot of money for mermaids. And of course, the celestial dragons are at this auction. So they want to buy her, but it turns out the celestial dragons have infinite wealth, and so they just the snot-nosed brat kid is like, I'm going to spend like $2 billion or whatever on her. Just completely blows them out of the water. They can't do anything. Luffy shows up a little bit late to the party. As mentioned earlier, the crew was kind of separated.
Yeah.
Luffy shows up a little bit late to the party. And he sees she's there, and he just starts walking towards her without a care for like what's happening. Hachi tries to stop him. He's like, "You can't do this." Like, the Celestial Dragon just bought her. He tries to stop him, and he uses all his might to try to stop him. And he reveals that he has multiple arms because he is an octopus man. Everyone at the auction freaks out because there's a fish man. And if he's arguing with him, he's like, "I don't care what happened or what you bought, or whatever." And Hachi's like, "No, like, really, you can't do this." And then a gunshot rings out, and the Celestial Dragon has shot Hachi. Just like shot him down. Because he's a fishman, and they can do that.
Yeah. Well, they can shoot anybody, but just a fishman, just extra ease.
Yeah, but extra, and like everyone around is like disgusted by him, essentially, because they're all a bunch of rich assholes. So it's like, oh, I can be a hero by shooting this fishman, essentially. So it's not no scratch. It's the fishman. Just look at me, look at me. And so one of the angriest times we see Luffy in the series.
Yeah.
As
which also, mad respect to Hachi for in this moment still being like, yes. Don't do it, bro.
Hachi is bleeding out on the floor with a bullet wound in his chest, and is still grabbing onto Luffy and saying, "Please don't do it, please." Like, you do not want to anger the Celestial Dragons. And Luffy says, "I understand what you're saying. I don't care," and proceeds to punch the Celestial Dragon in the face.
So good.
And of course, havoc breaks out. As it turns out, Luffy isn't the only pirate there, as something kind of skipped past is all of this generation of pirate crews have showed up on Sabaody at the same time, and they're called
the Worst Generation.
The Worst Generation. There's a bunch of them that we get to know more and more as the thing goes on. They're basically characters that are created to be used in arcs and the post-time skip.
Yeah.
Alongside Luffy to show characters that are progressing at the same rate as essentially.
Yeah.
So we get a couple of them are at the auction. Law and Kid and a bunch of other ones are out on the rest of Sabaody.
Yeah.
So I don't know really where to go from that.
Yeah. Well, I really like that Luffy punches slavery in the face. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter wishes. I think that I really like. So, like, for me reading One Piece, I already knew about some of this stuff going into this arc. Like, a lot of the stuff about the Celestial Dragons, I kind of already knew the gist of them. Not that the gist is hard to get, because it's incredibly obvious what they are the moment they swagger onto the scene.
Yep.
But, like, from my outsider's perspective, I knew that, like, okay, so, like, these, like, rich people are basically, like, the gods of the world. I did not realize that the punching one in the face would happen so fast. I kind of expected there to be some sort of build up to that. But no, Luffy just goes straight for it.
And the fun thing I want to highlight about this is not all the Straw Hat crew members are there still.
Yes.
When the rest of them show, I think Brooks, Robin, and Usopp are there.
Yeah.
So they're on flying fish, heading on their way over because they hear something's happening. When they show up, they all, without a question, see that their crew's fighting and just start joining in and beating ass.
Yeah.
They don't even ask questions. They just go, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah, like
this is
I love
great.
the fact that like despite how what's the word? Like despite how different and all over the place all the Straw Hats are, like 90% of the time, the fact that like they all will instantly band together when they need to is just mwah, chef's kiss.
So yeah, they end up hitting other celestial dragons and stuff. Raleigh comes out, reveals himself, and then it's revealed that Navy has surrounded the building. And this is our first introduction to a rivalry between Luffy, Law, and Kid.
Yes.
We get to see all three of them.
Something which I assumed would never come up.
You can see all three of them wanting to flex their skills with each other, so they all three go out and try to fight all the Navy men by themselves.
Yeah.
Which leads to us seeing them showcase their powers, which is really cool.
Yeah. Kids is kind of junk.
But every time I see Law uses them, get over.
Oh, I love Law.
So
it's everyone does.
we meet some of the other worst generation as well, who will come up more later. Beige, Bonnery, Rogue, who is still the only one we have not seen participate in the story at all.
Wait,
Hawkins, who? Rogue, which is the giant monk guy with the little tiny wings.
Legit forgot he existed.
We saw him a little bit when we first got introduced to Kaido, where he was jumping off the the Sky Island. It was the only other time we've seen him, I think, since. And there was like a mention of him.
Oh, that's right.
There was a mention of him in Whole Cake, I think, as well. There was a he showed up, and Kid showed up as well. But so yeah, we meet him. We meet Apu. Who's great. Killer, of course, is with Kid as well. Not to mention, there is Hawkins, who I like conceptually. We'll get to him more later.
I don't think he does too much.
And there is X-Ray, who's the last one. Who we'll get to him later as well. So, like, almost all of these characters is like, we'll talk about them later because they, most of that skip.
Yeah.
The only one, yet again, the only one who hasn't been seen yet is Rogue. We don't know. We know that he's strong in dimensions. But
yeah. I also forgot that X-Drake was a worst generation.
Yes, well, it's because he's not really good.
Yeah. Completely forgot about him.
So yeah, that's the worst generation. They're all introduced here, and the worst generation all have to fight off admirals who are showing up at their on the island because we punched a celestial dragon.
Yeah.
So there are some mixed fights. Cory's favorite character, Kizaru Borsalino. Light
least
shows up.
Character. Legit hate his godforsaken face. Wish he did not. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
What?
I'm falling through the floor. Paul, help me.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is your last save.
No.
Good luck with that.
So goodbye.
Oh.
Yo. No way. This is so cool. I'm saving down here.
Soft lock your game with the game is.
Keep on hit. Okay, there's the capture button. Oh, this is so cool. This is beautiful.
I've only had about once in this game where I fought something in a tunnel and then I clipped out of the tunnel because of the way I fought it.
That's what happened. Is I was trying to jump over something at the entrance to a tunnel. And they say Scarlet and Violet doesn't have good graphics. Look, this is beautiful.
All you do is get yourself out of bounds.
This is so beautiful. The art direction, the framing.
So anyway, Borsellino shows up. Kizaru Borsellino. His favorite character. Sentomaru shows up, who is revealed to be the assistant to Vegapunk, who is a scientist that we've gotten fake things from in the story so far. And he brings along with him these things called the Seraphims, which are robots designed to look exactly like Kuma, the Zelda the Lesser. But
yeah,
they don't have his paw fruit powers. Instead, what they have is Kizaru's light fruit powers, which shoots laser beams. So they have that ability. And they're very durable. So see that.
yes.
And so basically all of the worst generation are scattered, kind of running because they don't want to get in trouble with the Navy.
Yeah.
We have some funny moments, like Pooh just trolling everyone.
Yeah, as he does.
And Eroge fights with Kizaru for a bit. Most of them make it out fairly fine. But the Straw Hats run into Sentomaru and one of the Sephiroths, Akuma. And they're fighting the Sephiroth. It's very tough to fight. They are not really winning. Sentomaru is also very tough to fight, as he has, quote, the best defense in the world, quote. As we saw in most recent chapters.
Yes. Best defense in the world.
But they're fighting with him, and they're having a difficult time. And then Borsellino, Kizaru shows up. I think calling him Borsellino is his first name. I think everyone calls him Kizaru. Kizaru shows up.
That's what I know him as, and I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him so much.
Kizaru shows up, and everybody deep shit. There's an admiral there as well. But luckily, Rowley shows up to save the day and kind of keep Kizaru distracted while the rest of the team fights the robot and tries to escape. Unfortunately, as this happens, another Seraphim shows up. Oh wait, that's not a Seraphim, that's actually the real Kuma. So the real Kuma shows up. And I don't know if you saw this on your first read, but Kizaru and Sentomaru are confused at why he's there. Something I didn't notice on my first read. I thought they were just like, oh, he's here. But like they're like, why are you here? You know? And it's because he's not really supposed to be there. Yeah, he's not really supposed to be there. And so previously we saw Kuma use his pawpaw fruit to completely destroy someone on Thriller Bark, the ghost girl.
Yeah.
He asked her, where do you want to go on vacation? And she said, huh? I think that's a weird question or something. And then he just swiped her with his palm and she disappeared. And people were like, huh? And so the way the story kind of lays it out is that nobody knows what happened to her.
Yeah.
Like she's probably dead, is the way the story makes it play out. So the Straw Hats are already having a really tough fight. And they're kind of like down and beaten. Not done yet, but like Zoro still.
Weren't they able to like all of them together, like team fighting? Weren't they able to take down like one?
I think they were able to like hurt one of the Seraphims, but I don't know if they destroyed it. So I think they have a level fight about this one.
Yeah.
But they, so they're already kind of down. Zoro, is still very winded from the other arc, so he can't be a lot of use in these fights as well. So one of their strongest fighters already down before the fight starts and all that stuff. So it's like they're having a tough time. They split off into 3 groups. Luffy tells them all to split off and run in different directions and meet back at the ship. So they split off into multiple groups. And they're all trying to run. When Rokuma shows up, people are confused about what's happening, and then Kuma just starts killing all the Straw Hats.
Just one by one, just like out.
He just runs. He starts with Zoro. He asks him that same question that he asked the Ghost Girl at the Mark, where do you want to go to vacation? And Zoro goes, what? And then just swipes him and blows him away. Much to the shock and surprise of everyone around. As soon as this happens, yet again, the bromance is alive. As Sanji tries to fight him immediately. That happens.
Yeah.
And Sanji's also wanting to protect the people that Zoro kind of was with as well. So they're all trying to help out each other get away, because they think, for all intents and purposes, everyone besides Zoro just got fucking killed, essentially.
Yeah.
So they're on emergency maneuvers trying to get away. Some of them, like Sanji and Luffy, are fighting back a bit because they're very angry now.
Yeah.
The rest of them are trying to leave. And this is when Kuma just starts essentially doing the same thing to all of the Straw Hats. He systematically looks at them, determines which one to send next, to go for next, essentially, and then just instant transmissions to them and just swipe their gun. And so this is the point where I realized, he isn't killing them. This is the point where I was like, okay, Zoro's not done.
Yeah, because doing that to one, maybe doing that to all of them.
Yeah. Okay. So there's something else going on there. And as he does it to every single Straw Hat, Sentamaru is like, how did I? If you notice this in the first reading, Sentamaru's pissed off. He's like, why are you doing this? What the fuck? Because Sentamaru obviously knows his power.
Yeah.
So Sentamaru's just confused at why he's doing this, because he definitely thinks they're on his side. Or Kuma's on his side, and he knows what's up with his power. So as the Straw Hats kind of systematically get sent away, eventually Luffy's there, and he sends Luffy off on his way, and it's revealed that the power, the Pawpaw Fruit, does not make someone disappear. It sends them at an incredible speed, very far distance away, determined by the person who is sending them, essentially. So
Yeah.
So Kuma essentially split up the Straw Hats and sent them all to separate islands.
Yeah, so Sawadee is obviously a setup arc in 20 million different ways. It's setting up kind of like the general power levels of some of the parties at play, like where the Straw Hats are now, where the other Worst Generation is, where the Admirals are. Kind of like just setting up a bunch of power levels.
And what we realize from this is Luffy isn't that strong in this world of monsters. Luffy isn't as strong as we think he is, just because we've seen him growing and beating people. Is that he was trounced by pretty much everyone there.
Yeah.
And including his crew as well.
And even compared to Law and Kid, Luffy was kind of outclassed. Because
to be fair, Kid had a higher bounty than people. It's expressed that Kid has a higher bounty because apparently he burns down villages, so kills people. So
But like, because like in their like little like three of them, little rivalry moment, they all like are showing off similar levels of power.
Yeah, they're all showing off their best
But
moves.
Luffy is the only one who has incapacitated himself.
Yeah. Essentially, they all show off their best moves, and then Luffy's move is Gear 3, which makes him go tiny after he uses it, so he turns into a tiny man. But it's definitely like a perspective arc for Luffy as like a you are strong. So he gets strong. He doesn't have much time to think on that at the moment because he has to figure out where he is.
Yes. And we have hit the 2-hour mark, so it's kind of time for me to get off now.
Okay, but you're still gonna be like talking to the stream.
No. I have to go, Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Just because we're at the Amazon island does not mean I need to step away for a moment. Listen. Boa Hancock is not the hottest warlord. Okay, that's Jinbei. That's Jinbei. I'm sorry. I'm sure she'd be upset if she heard me say that, but it's Jinbei.
Speaking of Boa Hancock, you want a slight spoiler before you go, which is the thing that the panel that I wanted to mention from the leaked chapter today that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So you know how Boa Hancock has the love power, which is explained as it makes anyone who lusts or loves or has feelings of lust or love for her turn to stone. Okay, makes sense. She's a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
And she's on the high seas with a bunch of men who probably don't see a lot of women in their life, and they also know weirdos, so power works fairly well. So it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So recently, there's been some developments with seraphims in the series, with kid versions of the warlords, and we don't know what powers they have. Some of them have different powers and stuff like that. Well, the most recent leaked chapter, as it turns out, the kid version of Hancock still has the love fruit power, and she still uses it effectively against grown men. Which, I don't know how I feel about that.
You know what? To be fair. Yeah, I'll think my wife is trying to put ice down my shirt right now.
Listen, I wouldn't bring it up that much if like it was just like they explained as like they were interested, like not interested, but like they thought you were like so cute, like or something like that. But literally in the panel where she does it, they have hard eyes and they're sticking up their tongues like a wooga. I'm like, okay. Oh no.
Okay, I'm out of here. Bye, stream. All right, next time we will get my dissertation of the 220 million power systems in One Piece. We'll get them.
Okay.
And we'll ignore Boa Hancock.
We don't ignore Boa Hancock. S-Snake, as she's called. Seraphim Snake.
Yeah, ignore the S-Snake and all those things. Sorry.
Oh.
There's an ice pack down my back. Have a good night, Paul. I needed that to calm me down after thinking about Little Boy.
What? Okay, buddy. Are you in one of those panels?
Oh, wait.
Are you in one of these panels? Can we recognize you? Can you take a seat over here, good sir?
Alright, bye, Paul.
See ya.
I haven't forgiven myself tonight.
Well. Well, that was fun. I had a good time. we will continue off. Last time we left off was Marshall in his lobby. We'll continue off in this 4 core of arcs, which is also really good. No shinies today. I was trying to see if I could get these Cryogonals, but I didn't see any. Here, I've gotten a shiny Cryogonal before, but I guess one of my friends. I kind of like the shiny, so I was like, maybe I'll try the other one. Shinies aren't very different though. They just have different colored eyes. It goes from blue to red, and they're like little eyes. Very slight change, but it's a in my opinion. Actually, they might turn a little bit more blue as well. And like those little beads as well. But no shinies today. Oh well, I don't want to fight them. We have fun One Piece talk. We will get going on that next time. We can stream, hopefully sooner rather than later. I want to do a solo stream as well. I've been doing it the past few days. I'm probably gonna try to do a randomizer. I don't know if I want to do Ocarina of Time or Kingdom Hearts 2. Which one tickle might think better. So it's just disgusting what I just said, but but everyone rubs me the right way. Still kind of disgusting, but no less over way. And yeah, so I think about doing solo stream soon. I'm free for the rest of this week because apparently my job doesn't give me any assignments. So I'm free for like the rest of the week. It's Christmas, so I might do a stream before that leading up. There are also some games that I want to stream. But I was just so busy last semester, and this next semester is looking like it's going to be busy as well, which really fucking sucks. But good news is, this next semester I think is going to be my last very busy semester. I'm going to have 1 to 2 more semesters after that, a summer and a fall semester. I'm finishing school this year, permanently. Compromised to a permanent end in my damn school. Thank fucking God. Finishing this year, but this last semester is spring 2020, so that's going to be the most difficult one for me. And then after that, it should be just like 2 or 3 classes summer and then 1 class in the fall because it's the main course again in the future of summer. So, yeah. So this should hopefully be my last big semester. So I might not stream much during it, but hopefully during the summer and subsequent fall, I will be able to stream. So yay! I'm happy. Are you happy about that? You are because you're a Charlotte. You really want to. Wow, I'm so glad. So yeah, I will do that. Also, talk about the stream of this. That I've been sitting on since last summer, so a year and a half of streaming my house, which you'd think would be a lot, and it would be if I streamed regularly, but it's only like 2 days. So, school's been kicking my fucking ass, but it's almost over. So this year's the final year, fucking hooray. So, fucking glad. But yeah, once that's done, and I'll be happy. But until then, this next semester's gonna be busy. I'll stream some stuff. I have some games on the docket that I want to stream that I've been holding off and playing myself. Besides just randomizers, which I do enjoy a lot. But I want to do some regular ones as well. Give you a sneak peek. What I mean. Sneak peek. I mean, I'm just gonna say some of it. So I played this game on stream a while ago called West of Loathing, which is a lot of fun. muscle loading, which was a lot of fun. Kind of wanted to do a sequel game which just came out called Paggigalo, which is an Eldritch muscle loading was a Wild West thing. This one is Cthulhu Mythos Eldritch, so the first game was fun and funny, and this one seems to be the same. So that's something I want to play on stream. Another thing I want to play on stream is a game from my childhood called Baldur's Gate Alliance, not the one that just released like this year or last year, which is a dog shit game. Pissed me off. It's the same name, but it's a game from my childhood, which is basically a D&D. I mean, it's Baldur's Gate, so yes, it is a D&D, but it's basically a D&D thing. And should be fun. It's like D&D dungeon crawler, like Diablo, basically. And it's a game from my childhood that I enjoyed a lot. So, I'll love that. Other games that I wanted to stream, Dwarf Fortress came out, and I haven't had enough time to kind of delve into it really that much, so I thought maybe I could stream like me learning the game, because Dwarf Fortress is fucking insane. So what I'll say, I've read a couple stories involved with Dwarf Fortress, and I just know the game's crazy, like absolutely crazy. Other than that, though, can't do much else. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. But yeah, it's kind of a sneak peek. Yeah, Hitman 3. I was thinking about playing on stream because I have Hitman 3. I just haven't played it yet, which is a crime. I fucking love the most recent Hitman games. It's so fucking fun. So I haven't played it yet, so I was thinking maybe I could stream that to incentivize me to play it, but if not, I'll just play it off stream because I love the fucking game. Hopefully that's still choosing correctly. Yeah. Oh. I wish I could use this thing more. I need to do more streams like where I just use this. Really, it's a cool thing, but I also need to put more out. Right now I have Axiom Verge, Breath of the Wild, Fury, Kingdoms of Amalur, Minecraft, Psychonauts, Subnautica, and Supermax. Some of those you might be like, this is a choice, right? Yeah. It's because I own the soundtrack scene, so I just ordered about it. But like stuff like Mario Odyssey, like obviously I don't own that scene because it's not on Steam. Breath of the Wild I actually do own because I bought the deluxe edition on release. And it had 24 songs in the thing. You know, it's more than 24 songs in the whole soundtrack. But I digress. Yeah, like Fury soundtrack, Axiom Verge, Kingdoms of Amalur, Psychonauts. I actually owe. Because I can build them. See, all those soundtracks. I don't know too well. Since it's still here. That is too low. Banger song. This is like one of my favorites from the soundtrack. But I haven't looked at the. You know what? I haven't looked at in a while. My stream page. Right at my page that just has like my streaming plans. Let's see. Do I have anything on here that's interesting? I do have some things on here that are interesting. Okay. Interesting. And also, the last thing I wanted to talk about is I plan on doing quick recaps. I do every year. I've done it since 2018 or 2017. So I've done this for a while now, and I plan to continue doing it. Where it's just I go through the games that I liked in the year, the games I disliked in the year, the games that I was going on, some games that I missed, some games I'm looking forward to, some stream observations, which this year it's going to be I didn't fucking stream at all. And some future plans. And that's kind of what I just go through that at the end of the year. So expect that sometime after Christmas, before New Year's, probably. Monday, Tuesday, I'm busy after Christmas. Wednesday, I'm busy as well. So probably that Thursday or Friday, I'm gonna stream something. Stream my quick stream wrap up with my webcam on and his foot because I haven't done it here good in a while. That's it for me, though. That's for now. I as well like the I forgot about keyboard. That's how I had it set up. It was the artist at the top and the soundtrack in the middle and the title of the I don't know if I can change that. I think I tried changing it and some issues. But it's fine. It's fine. And it's what we're interested in. So we have and I think I have what songs isn't very cool. Yeah, I'll think of more soundtracks. I'm going off my own thing. I'm looking at Hunter at Hunter Release. I need to edit the stream. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it if anyone's watching this on YouTube later. Or maybe watching this on Twitch in the 2 months before it gets deleted. Thank you to anyone who does so. As for now, it's just me here. And, yeah. Well, I wonder if I'll delete the Twitter thing from my games. But I plan on doing more Twitch content, hopefully. If I can't do it this next semester, then after it. Similarly, I plan on doing actual YouTube content as well. Because there's no discoverability on Twitch, so if you want people to see you, you actually have to do stuff on YouTube. Not that that's the reason why I'm doing this. It's just because I want to play games. But it's nice to perhaps have that fallback. You know what I mean? That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Anyway, if you did, and if you did not watch, you hear what I'm saying right here. Thanks for me. I'll see you next time. Hasta luego.